Hi everyone, just a quick video on fibre broadband. We're all being forced to have fibre broadband these days, and Openreach are replacing the old analogue network. Now, as you can see on the house behind me here, we have a new fibre broadband connection. It comes across the road from the post and it goes up to the house and it connects just up there. And if you can zoom in on that, you'll see that it actually just goes onto a little hook eye that the engineers installed, and then it disappears up into the house, and that's actually drilled through and up into the eaves above. And I had a nice little conversation with the engineer when he came about how we were going to do this and how simple I could make it for him. But the principle is that instead of running a cable down to the outside of the house and putting it on the wall so that you can work on it, which is what they have to do now because they're not allowed to work on terminations up high, I didn't want that. So I said, let's install it inside, and then you can access it in the nice warm and dry, and I don't have this ugly box on the outside of my house. Anyway, I'll show you upstairs and show you what's there. So this is my little Eaves cupboard. Now, you can see out here I've got a TP link unit. This is actually fed back from downstairs. But in here, tiny little Eaves cupboard, what you find is the grey box on the left is the fibre termination. That black cable you can see there is the fibre cable that's coming across the road from the post that we saw outside earlier. From there, you've got another white fibre cable that's spliced into it. That goes into the media converter unit there, which says, please leave this box and it's plugged behind if you move, which is rather exciting. It's got Openreach written on it. That is just a media converter, really. It's translating fibre into UTP, or sort of unshielded twisted pair. From the middle port of that one, those three ports, you can see network connection, and that goes into the box that's on the right hand side there, which is it's actually a Cat5e cable. Now, I already had that Cat5e cable installed in the house. It goes all the way down to under the stairs, which I'll show you in a minute. Obviously on the far right there's a socket, and gosh, wasn't I lucky that there's a socket in this cupboard where I needed to plug in my power supply for the media converter. So yeah, that's what we've got in the cupboard upstairs. We're probably about 1 metre away from where the fibre optic cable comes into the house outside. Let's have a look downstairs. Okay, so I've pulled everything out under the stairs. This is the new home hub, which actually has one fewer ports on the back because they've used one of the 4 as a LAN connection. So we've only got 3 of our UTP ports around the house connected. This used to be the master socket, and my Cat5e cable that went up to the roof to go out and connect outside. I'm now using that Cat5e to go from that little Eaves cupboard back to here. So that's bringing the connection from the media converter back to this point, and it's going into this red WAN port on the hub. And you can see the hub is blue. These 4 are actually structured wiring in the house. So the first one goes to the lounge, the second one goes to the dining room, which we're using as a study, third one goes to the first floor bedroom, and the 4th one goes up to the 2nd floor, where you saw that TP-Link wireless unit, and that actually gives us Wi-Fi on the top of the house. So that's it, really. What you can see is obviously you can have your fibre connection anywhere in the house, as long as you've got a Cat5e or a Cat6 cable there. In fact, just a Cat5 cable would do it. Cat5 was rated to gigabit when it was first invented, so a Cat5 cable, if that's what you've got, perfectly all right. Cat5e is obviously more modern, as is a Cat6, but in this case we have fibre coming in straight into the roof. You can't see it, it doesn't come down the wall, you can't see it terminated outside, it doesn't go back up again to go in or across. There's no cables on show here. It comes into that little Eaves cupboard, it goes straight onto a UTP Cat5e cable, and then it works its way through the house to the understairs, which is where I have my home hub. obviously it's all about talking to the engineer when they come, setting it up for them, trying to make it easy, and that key thing that engineer is happy to do the fibre termination indoors, which I think they should be, as long as it's as close to the outside as possible. So the fibre cable might not be a low smoke cable, it might be a PVC coating, which would, if it burnt, you would have fumes. So they don't want much of that cable indoors. So I've limited it to as minimum as possible. I put a draw wire in, I made it easy for them, and the engineer that came, he actually worked for Kelly on behalf of OpenReach. He was very happy to just do that termination indoors, set up the hub, make sure it worked, and then he disappeared while I did that those Cat5e terminations to the UTP RJ45 connections, so that we could actually do that connection down to the hall. And it works very well. Anyway, hope that was useful. Give it a like if it was. Subscribe if you really like it. Thank you. Bye-bye.